Well, I guess we can head down to the moon and do the dreaded Luna VI mission. Take care of this rogue VI that has apparently gone berserk and is shooting everybody on sight, whether it's supposed to or not. Go shut it down. Interesting, this VI will actually pop up in Mass Effect 2 and 3 and play a major part in the story, too. It's pretty cool. Just about everybody and everything gets a cameo somewhere later in Mass Effect games. Alright, notice the Earth up there is backwards. The West Coast is on the east side for some reason. I've wondered if maybe that's some kind of visual phenomenon that might actually take place if you were on the surface of the moon. Some reversal of the way... I don't know if that's a thing or not, but that's the way they show it here anyway. Yeah, there's really nothing up here in the way of resources. I guess mankind has cleaned all that out. There are a few clusters of turrets that we can get before we actually go to the training ground itself. So worth some free XP, if nothing else, you know. Well, it's free, just sitting here. Well, not really exactly sitting here, it's kind of shooting rockets at us, but... I'm glad they didn't program backseat driving into your followers. That would probably get annoying really, really fast. Because they'd have a lot of excuse to be backseat drivers with me. While I was driving off edges and getting the Mako flipped over and all kinds of stuff. Man, geez, these are worth 132 in the Mako. They're probably worth 300 something on foot. If you really want to take advantage of XP gain, that's really the way to do it. And it's even doable on Insanity. You just kind of find a ledge where you can duck the rockets when they come at you. Take these guys out one at a time. It takes longer, but there's a lot more XP to be had. Like I say, I think it's more than double. Like if it says 130 there, I think you'd add another... Oh, geez. Yeah, more than twice that. Like I say, probably around 300-ish, maybe more. I believe the penalty is 60% or 70%, something like that, for doing it in the Mako. But it's so much faster. I'm not trying to reach any specific level, although I think there's an extra bonus going into Mass Effect 2 if you go in with at least a level 50 character. Then I think if you go in with a full level 60, then there's like some other major bonus that you get. Extra money and, I don't know, probably some more reputation bonus, Renegade or Paragon or whatever, that type of thing. I'm guessing. I don't remember exactly what it is. Also, and it won't really matter for me, but I believe some of your ability bonuses carry over too, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I have all the achievements for this game. I have it complete gamed. But I didn't do it all on this particular save file, so a lot of them, even though they're there on my trophy list, right, my achievement awards list, they don't pop. The game doesn't recognize them. Like I didn't start this game with pistols and sniper rifles or shotgun sniper rifles and assault rifles and all the biotics and all the tech skills and stuff unlocked, because you get to pick one as basically a bonus skill with new characters and stuff, or New Game Plus or whatever. In this case, I basically didn't unlock anything. Other playthrough, I basically just went through to finish the story, and so I could get to the last fight and upgrade the difficulty settings was basically all I did. I think the only achievements I really unlocked were probably pistol kills, as far as that goes. And I did go ahead and play an Adept on that too, just to kind of get familiar with it again, remember exactly what skills I like to use and stuff like that. But yeah, I ran around with a pistol, and that was essentially it. Look at me just running nose first in the stupid building here. So I will go into Mass Effect 2 with basically nothing unlocked except for, well, Well, probably all the biotic skills. Just about all of them will be unlocked as far as that goes. I'm planning on playing an infiltrator. I think the shooting and the sniping is exceptional in Mass Effect 2. It's a lot of fun. I just prefer it to the other classes. And then in Mass Effect 3, we'll go Vanguard. And then we're going to play primarily a melee class, basically. It's biotics, but it's kind of a melee build. It's a really brutal build. It's probably the most violent of any class build that I can really think of in any game. I mean, it's nice. And by then, we'll probably have a couple skills carry over. But it won't matter, because in Mass Effect 3, we may not even use a gun. We might not use one at all, I don't know. There are actually 1 or 2 points in the game where you're forced to shoot, you're forced to actually use a gun. Like in the beginning, in order to get through the tutorial, you have to run out of ammo at one little section in the tutorial, so you essentially have to, I mean, you can just empty your gun into thin air, and then in the little cutscene or whatever, but you have to use a gun. And there's 1 or 2 other. I think there's one place where you have to shoot off some missiles, and another place where you have to use it's some kind of laser homing thing. But anyway, I can think of a couple times where you kind of have to use one, but outside of that, you really don't. That, you know, as a matter of fact, and I may do that for Mass. I may do that at some point later on in this playthrough, when we get to, I don't know, around level 40-ish or something, somewhere around there. We got our skills out. I'll show you a party, what I use and kind of why I use it. Not that it's necessarily rocket science, but there's some things that, I don't know, maybe thinking a little bit outside of the box. And that's what I always look for. Is there anything about my build that's kind of outside the box, that's contrary to the norm? When I watch other people play and when I see what other people do and what they suggest for character builds and stuff, do I have something that's like totally out on the other side of, you know, if they're all in right field, is my stuff way out here in left field somewhere, you know, where my thinking or my little strategy or my tactics are concerned? And if they are, then I'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'll just put in my 2 cents, and anybody that might want some new ideas, if nothing else. It's always good to hear something that you maybe haven't thought of before, you know. The ability to play, the ability to aim your gun and shoot. There's a lot of people that do that better than me, as far as that goes. But there may be something build-wise that I thought of that other people may not have come to mind or something. It's all good. So I may throw in my 2 cents. But in Mass Effect 2 and 3, I've got a good infiltrator build. In 2, 2, you're somewhat limited in skill points, but you're somewhat limited in skills too. You get almost all your skills. There are some choices you make where you morph, and there are a few morphs that can complement each other or have some what you would call synergy with one another. And you also get into certain powers and abilities working with other powers and abilities. So there is something playing there also. And so builds become, I guess, a little more relevant. The thing about Mass Effect 1 is a lot of powers don't really complement one another except from a tactical sense. Like here, notice I like a lot of biotics, but I'm using an Adept. If I was playing an infiltrator here, I would rely on my followers for even more so for tactical support. Liara would concentrate on singularity and lift and may not use anything else. She wouldn't even be there for damage, so to speak. She would pretty much be there to control the battlefield, and then Tali would be in there just hacking the crap out of everything, and she's not hacking it, she's overloading it, sabotaging it or whatever, throwing tech all over the place, which is useful against more than just synthetics, actually. But none of those abilities really complement any of Liara's abilities, and vice versa. And even then, all she really provides for me is just more singularity and more lift and more throw. You know, that's really the difference. But you get in Mass Effect 2 where some of the tech abilities and some of the biotic abilities start to play off one another. And then in Mass Effect 3, everything works together. I mean, you have all kinds of sweet combos that work, and there's, oh man, there's so much synergy between your party members and stuff. You can do all kinds of cool things. Anyway, but so builds become more relevant. So definitely in 2 and 3, I think a build video would be cool. And it's cool because you can do character build and party build. I do not... The rocket drones are what you don't want to see. Looks like there's just one here. We're going to fix to face a lot more of them later, and that's when it gets ridiculous, because they're a one-shot. If they hit you with a rocket, you're dead. Well, if they hit Shepard with a rocket, I'm dead. My followers might be able to take a hit, maybe. Well, they're charging. Wow. Destroyed Liara. I gotta get her some armor. I need to get her a new pistol, too. Go buy her a Spectre pistol. Get Tali. Jeez, I guess get Tali a pistol and a shotgun. We'll have the money for it. Money's going to be no problem. Find him some armor, too. I think when we're done here with the Luna mission, I do believe this counts as a major mission. At least as far as opening up some new dialogue with some of the crew members and stuff. You know, with Ashley and Liara and Tali and all them. Might go talk to everybody, if they can be talked to, and then go visit the Citadel and hit all the merchants up. Maybe find some new licenses and find a decent set of armor. I think we'll get a decent set of armor if it's semi-affordable. I have a decent amount of money right now, actually. I can afford at least one Spectre weapon and probably a set or two of armor. So I think we'll go to the Citadel and do some shopping. Also, I want to go see if our adoring fan is there, Conrad Werner. Dude's funny. Poor guy. He's so needy. And then, unless something else pops up, seems like there's still some quests we can pick up on Citadel also. We got Admiral Kahoku, that whole disaster out of the way. Got introduced to Cerberus in a pretty nasty way. Another name that's going to pop up a lot in future Mass Effect. I mean a lot. Trying to think. And it's kind of nice that I don't remember specifically absolutely everything. Some of this stuff will be kind of a surprise and be fun to do. There's been a few times where we stopped on a planet and gone to do things, and I didn't recognize what it was until we were in the middle of doing it, so that's cool. It's been a while since I played. I can honestly say, though, that this playthrough, at least so far, is the most fun I've had in a while. I'm enjoying sharing my experience with this with you guys. And I've come to the conclusion that I probably don't need to be one to do blind playthroughs of games. As usually I'm going to edit out all the stupid stuff anyway, as far as I'm concerned. And I like to know what I'm talking about. I like to actually experience the game. And I can just as easily experience it on the second, third, fifth, 20th, 100th playthrough as I can on the first. But a lot of time, the first playthrough, like I did with the Fallout 4, which was fun, but I'm not going to say it exactly ruined the game for me. But in having to stop and constantly edit and, you know, go back and forth like that, I never got to really immerse. And then when it was done, the story was told, and I didn't get to get drawn into it. And I cheated myself of that, in a sense. And what I need to do is go through a game and experience it, because I can just as easily go back. And if I don't have any other gifts, right, as a YouTube content creator, if I don't have any other gifts aside from this, then if I have any one redeeming quality, I think it would be narrating or commentary, although it may be annoying to some of you guys because I don't shut up. I know that. But some of you have, you know, noted that you like that, and I would say it's something that comes at least semi-natural, good or bad, whether you like it or not. Either way, you know, it's something that comes semi-natural, and I can go back and share an experience, even if it's something that I already just did a couple times, and share it because I can recall how I felt and how I experienced it and pass it along to you guys like that, as if it's new in a sense, you know, as if I'm experiencing this, because the wonder and the passion and the love for these games doesn't go away. Not the good ones. Now, there's some that I can just take them or leave them, right? And it's usually games outside of the RPG genre. But the ones that really fit into this particular style of RPG, especially the open world ones and so on and so forth, where there's a lot of character development and what have you. And then when you get into character builds, you've got lots of gear and equipment to sift through and stuff, and it becomes even better, you know. But I don't lose it for that. I can go through, and there some of these games like Dragon Age 2, Origins, let's see, the Mass Effects, Skyrim. Haven't done Oblivion. It may not. I don't know about Oblivion. That's a different kind of thing. Fallout 3 especially. Those are games I played through. I couldn't tell you how many times, but I can just as easily share the wonder and experience of playing them the first time as I can having, you know, been through it 20, 30, 40 times or whatever. It's not an issue, you know. It's something I actually enjoy doing. So I think becoming familiar with the games and passing along my experience and stuff, and that's what I really had to share with you guys. You know, there was a certain thing to the wonder of discovering new things in Fallout 4, but it really came down to, by the time y'all got on video 50 or 60, all of you had beaten the game 8 times, and I was still on my first playthrough running around wondering what the hell I can use this for, and what's that for, and who is this person, what do they have to do with that, and, you know, and still doing that. And so I'm thinking that's not the way to go. What I need to do is get in and milk a game for all it's worth, and then come back and share my experience with you guys. And for those of you that like to join in and hang out for that, then there you go. Just my thoughts. That was my, looking back, that was my experience with Fallout 4. And I'm actually letting the game set right now. I've heard about the I know we're on Mass Effect, you know, we're not talking about, well, we're not doing Fallout right now, but just a note for those of you who may have been watching that one also, since I'm kind of uploading these at the same time. I'm going to wait. I've heard about the updates and stuff and the improvements they're going to make on everything from survival to coming out with some DLCs and so on and so forth. I may wait for the first or even second DLC to come out before I even pick the game back up again. I'm going to let it set. I'm going to let it get fresh, get new again, and then I'm going to go back and enjoy it and come up with a character. And if we do any more content on it, it'll probably be DLC stuff or something like that. And it'll be with a different character, maybe a new build, maybe a build I can share with you know, everyone. Hopefully with some of the difficulty upgrades they do to it, and certain things will become more relevant, and certain builds will become kind of obsolete. Might have to rethink some stuff. I hope so, anyway. But anyway, my 2 cents on that. I'll leave Fallout 4 alone, but that's kind of where I was going with that. So with this, not having played Mass Effect in a while, this is, in a lot of ways, kind of fresh again. Even though, you know, I'm familiar with a good percentage of it, I'm enjoying going back through it. It's no less fun, it's no less amazing than it was, you know, the first time I came through it, or the 10th time I came through it. Couldn't tell you how many times I played through this game. I have no idea. I know I complete gamed it on both consoles and did a bunch of playthroughs just for funs. Just playing with different classes and doing different stuff, or maybe hunting for one last achievement or something. Yep. This game is definitely in an awesome category all by itself. Got this guy weak over here for some reason. Nice. We still got a bunch of turrets in here. They were not playing any games on this mission right here. And I can honestly say I actually didn't die here. I actually didn't. I actually had a good run, a lucky run. Being careful definitely has something to do with it, because like I say, you just step out there and just stand in there long and strong like you're going to do something. Those turrets will destroy you almost instantly. Well, he still took her out. Well, Liara needs to stop being Rambo, because get back here. Yeah, there you go. Usually the right on the D-pad is attack and left on the D-pad is retreat, essentially. But sometimes they're not trying to hear that. Tali's pretty much been stuck to my hip, but Liara's going off and doing her own thing. Or sometimes when I need her in a fight, she's just stuck in a corner somewhere saying, I can't reach that. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't find a target. Yeah, get your nose out of that corner and you can. not in range, huh? Not in sensor range yet? Good. See ya. And look at all this loot we're getting. Every time inventory pops up there on the right, you know we're getting something. Look at this. They are not playing any of this. How many assault drones are in this one? Hacked usually means they'll at least stop shooting at you for a second. I have no pity on them. Although I probably should let some of these hacked robots get back there and do some work. You see, every dead robot is one that can't come and kill me later, so... There you go, pull them out one at a time. I'll take it, whatever works. Nice. I just want to shoot out with an assault drone. Probably won't win a shootout with this one though. You felt that. Yeah. That warp weakened them, it really did. Double warp. So maybe the biotics don't exactly set each other off, detonations like they do in later Mass Effects, but they do stack. They do still make a difference. All right. Kinetic barriers. Okay, now this, I never really understood the point of this, except to just make it take longer and be more annoying. I guess if we were getting attacked the entire time, while we were trying to knock down the barriers and get these conduits out of the way or something, okay, I could see that, but whatever. These are going to be all in the next bunker, too. There's one thing I've been trying to remember, and I'm not going to go look it up or anything. That's one thing I've been avoiding, is going and looking up stuff. Is when the Spectre 10 gear, the like what is it? HMSR and HMSP or HWS or whatever it is, you know, the initialed stuff, the Spectre gear, when the rank 10 stuff comes out. I don't remember if you have to have either completed the game once, if it's only a New Game Plus, or if it's a certain level thing, or if it's a certain money thing, or something. I really don't. Maybe a certain number of N7 missions completed. And N7 can include anything from, oh geez, collecting medallions and minerals and ores to some of the little side quest stuff. I clipped out the drive between each one. So it looks like we're seamlessly going from one to the other. Well, yeah, we kind of are. You got to fight through all three of them. This is going to have a bunch of rocket drones, and this is just nasty. Like I say, it's just don't ever get hit. I think there's 1 or 2 assault drones in here, and the rest of them are rocket drones. So if you can draw them out one at a time, if the worst comes to worst, hopefully at least you stay alive, even if you lose your... I don't care if he's hacked or not. He dies. Screw that. Now that's an assault drone, but there's probably a rocket drone right behind me. Yep, sure is. Any of those hit me, and it's over. Luckily, Liara took them all to her face. She's been getting that a lot lately. Alright, if I can time these, and he doesn't charge me. Wow. Just me now. If you go up in that room up there, you probably won't even make it back down the hallway. It's really just that bad. Hopefully I can keep dodging these guys. I can't even take any splash damage from these things now. I got a metagel back though. Pick everybody up once I get this dude down. No point in getting them up before then. Nice. Nice. Almost like they never even took a hit. Go ahead and waste all your tech on that wall. There you go. Oh, we still got... Oh, geez, at least 3 or 4 up here, don't we? And it's another rocket one. Son of a bitch. Nice. Got Tali that time. Just about. Her health's going back up. I've got one of those medical interface mods on her armor. And it's actually making a noticeable difference. I don't remember if that's what they call the last rank of it, the rank 10, whatever the medical version of that, and I think it cools down your powers, gives you poison resistance, which isn't so relevant except for basically in just one area of the game, but it gives you health regen and power cooldown together, and I basically always run with that, because that's like an added bonus to your biotic amp, essentially. It's huge, it's huge. And then the other one I run with, oh, I don't remember which one. I want to say kinetic something. I'll know it when I see it. I think we start running into the best versions of those around rank 8. It might be rank 7. But I mean, you're obviously looking for the rank 10 ones, which of course are the best. Everything caps out at 10. We're still in the 4s and 5s right now. In fact, just about everything it dropped was 4. Except for 1 or 2 things, so. Got a little ways to go. About level 30. It's when the 7s start dropping consistently, I believe. To get a scram rail on this thing. Where it doesn't overheat as fast. In fact, I'll probably just throw 2 on this gun. Just 2 scram rails, and What the hell are they shooting at? Okay, the drones are in this next room over here. They're shooting that wall like something pissed them off. I wonder if they're shooting at the power conduits. Maybe there is something to destroying every single power conduit. I can swear I've done it before. Didn't make any difference. Oh, wow. You're getting wiped. It's a freaking rocket drone, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. Tali, can you get off anything before you die? Basically, no. Alright, you son of a bitch. Alright, well, that's not a rocket drone. Stuck? Okay, well, I'm not going to complain. You can be stuck if you want to. Probably killed Tali and Liara so fast that it's still stuck in targeting or something. Heal everybody quick. Yes. Are they both assaults? I think so. I think we're done with the rockets. Yeah, we are. Let's knock this guy down like right now. Well, they keep going berserk on nothing. Okay, I remember them doing this before. Yeah, I think with 2 scram rails on this, it could still overheat technically, but it would probably take about 50 to 60 rounds to do so. If you can't kill anything by then you probably have no business shooting it. Alright, here we go. Specialization class achieved. This is really cool. You get to pick offense or defense, essentially. I think it varies based on the class you play, obviously. But for an Adept, it's awesome. The Nemesis is just pure offense. Warp and Lift. Lift is especially useful. And then that's Barrier and Stasis. And I've heard that this can also make it to where, either Barrier or Stasis, you can also do damage to the enemies that were initially in it. Where before, I think Stasis was essentially you paralyze an enemy, but they can't take any damage while they're paralyzed. And then I think Barrier is you... I don't remember what Barrier does for you, or doesn't do for... Anyway, I don't know, but I think that makes it to where Stasis, you actually can do some damage to an enemy, as well as freeze them for a second or whatever. But with me being able to lift enemies longer, bigger enemies, more often, yeah, I'm totally down with all that, so... And Warp. Warp has its uses too. If you can weaken an enemy further, start getting into some really big toughies later, like Krogan Battlemasters, high-level Krogan Battlemasters, those things, they literally regenerate health faster than you can hurt them. Not forever. It's kind of like a little spurt that they go into, but they can be almost dead and get back to full health, and you've basically done nothing to them type of thing. And Warp helps you at least whittle them down a little faster. There's also ammo you can use that can slow down or prevent their regen also. But you take penalties for it. And I've never been a fan of changing out ammo that often. Usually I'm good with the polonium or the, what you call them, the sledgehammer rounds, I think, later. Or the cryo rounds. Cryo 7s are probably my favorite ammo altogether. Just simply because that you have a chance to insta-kill. Alright, let's talk to everybody real quick.
What do you want, Shepard?
Why did you become a mercenary?
Lots of reasons.
Such as?
Such as, I needed to get out of our system. I needed to eat. I needed to survive.
Why not stay and help your people?
I tried to help. That's why I had to leave.
What happened?
I was betrayed. I was head of a small tribe. We were trying to restore order after the war, but the other tribes were against us. They followed Jared, one of the few warlords who survived the war with the Turians. But he was old, and so were his ideas. He wanted to continue the war. He wanted us to fight Turians, Salarians, each other. It didn't matter who. as long as we were fighting.
What did you want?
I just wanted Jared to shut up, to stop his ranting. I wanted him to stop leading the tribes astray. But he couldn't understand how much things had changed. We didn't have the numbers to go to war. Even if we did, the genophage made sure we couldn't replenish our numbers fast enough. I told them all to forget about war. We needed to focus on breeding, at least for one generation. And for a while, we were getting through. Some of the tribes started coming around.
I take it the warlord didn't appreciate that.
No, he didn't. He arranged a crush with the tribes, a meeting on neutral ground. He wanted to talk. We met at the Hollows, near the graves of our ancestors. The skulls of our dead laid bare to remind us where we come from, and where we all go. It's as sacred as any Krogan place can be. Violence is forbidden.
Sounds like a trap to me. You must have suspected as much.
I did. But when your father invites you to a crush, well, there are some laws that even we hold sacred.
Jared was your father?
He was. Until that day. We talked, but we didn't get anywhere. When it was clear that I wouldn't join him, he gave the signal. His men leapt from the graves of our ancestors like Krogan undead. The few that were loyal to me died quickly. I escaped with my life, but not before I sank my dagger deep into my father's chest. That is why I left, and that's why I'll never go back.
You must have family other than your father. Don't you miss them?
No. Now that I have my family's armor again, there's nothing left for me.
So long, Wrex.
Shepard.
Commander?
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
Sure. I was just watching some mail from home.
Oh, before I go, we saw Caden in a news vid about the Normandy. He's cute. Later, sis.
Let's pretend this never happened.
Are you interested in the Lieutenant, Chief?
No, ma'am. And anyway, Scuttlebutt says he's already sweet on someone. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on family mail.
Your family seems to be important to you.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Where did you grow up?
All over. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school. With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I made Chief. First thing he did was salute.
You're lucky to have a close family.
Sorry, I forgot about your family situation.
Or lack thereof. Relax, Williams. I've dealt with it.
Asked me to clear a bunker of armed hostiles? No problem. Dealing with the foot in my mouth? Not so good with that. Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself a boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike. I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vid mails, and I'd tell her to relax.
Where were you when this was going on?
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was assigned to Chernobog. Same cluster, but a dozen LY away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency. I couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
If he really liked her, he wouldn't be pushy.
Yeah, of course. If he didn't ask at all, I'd wonder if he thought Sarah was ugly. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense. I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
Why didn't you tell the police?
She said it wouldn't solve the real problem, and she and Mike would both become household names. It was a small colony. I said it was her call to make, that we should let her do it her way. Mom was pretty pissed about that.
You said all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice, but didn't like it. She's kind of nervous. Sarah took Aikido. Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into. They do great things to her figure, though.
So, what did you learn?
One of Dad's friends taught me Marine hand-to-hand.
Did anything happen while you were home?
My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her. I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk, and there's blood everywhere.
That's unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
Better. I'm more or less a straight-up puncher. When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was gonna end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying. And she hugged him. The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
Where was your father during this? Wasn't your family stationed near him?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
I never thought I'd hear you reciting poetry.
Just because I can drill you between the eyes at 100 meters doesn't mean I can't like sensitive stuff. Just don't spread it around. Ulysses was my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it. He had a dozen versions when he retired.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I go home. Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though.
You mean from wherever we go after death?
Dead on, Skipper. He's with God now. That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
You know that old saw, there's never an atheist in a foxhole? Well, I've been in a lot of foxholes.
Yeah, I guess you have. I've met a few people who were really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez. Hello, have you people looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something? I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Commander, good to see you.
You've been with C-Sec a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
I bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
What happened? Why were you investigating him?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one L-Corps diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs, had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut. Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
So how did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Saleon, the geneticist. So I went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Solarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
You're kidding, right? Why would anyone want Krogan testicles?
Some Krogan believe that testicle transplants can increase their virility, counteract the effects of the genophage. It doesn't work, but that doesn't stop them from buying. They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set. Somebody's making a killing out there.
What'd you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
Good thinking. Lackeys are always easier to scare.
Exactly. Though in this case it paid off in a different way. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview. We offered to patch him up and he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh. That was our big break. These people weren't just Dr. Saleon's employees. They were test tubes. Walking, living test tubes.
So he was growing spare parts in his own employees.
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off. Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but C-Sec headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. He just used them to make more organs, but they wouldn't listen.
No wonder you hated it there. Those idiots just let him fly away.
Yes, they did. I went to Palin and told him what I thought of him and his policies. He said if I didn't like it, I could quit. Well, I almost did. All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
A few casualties is a small price to pay to stop someone like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those hostages might be wishing they'd died by now anyway. Just wish I could have stopped him. That's all.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Saleon?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart, his idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go. If it's Saleon, I want to be there when you find him.
Shepard, I'm glad you're here.
Good to see you smiling again, so to speak.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Steren's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
What are you hoping to find?
Usually, people bring back something like a derelict ship we can use for salvage. But I need something bigger. There's a lot expected of me.
What's so special about you?
It's my father. He's the senior member of the Admiralty Board. He's one of only 5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet. My father is responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
So are you some kind of heir to the Quarian throne or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. My father's position isn't hereditary. I'll probably never serve on the Admiralty Board myself. Officially, I'm just the same as any other citizen. But it doesn't work that way in practice. People have always treated me differently because of who my father is.
You must get all kinds of special privileges.
I probably had it easier than most growing up, but it's not all good. People like my father have enemies, and they're not above using me to get to him.
It must be tough on you.
My people place a high value on family and ancestry. There's an unspoken expectation that I'll live up to my father's example. Everyone's waiting for me to do something great on my pilgrimage, something that will forever change our lives for the better. If I don't, it's like I failed, and that reflects badly on both me and my father.
The work you're doing here is more important than anything any Quarian's ever done before.
Yes, I know. But you have to understand Quarian culture. We're a very insular society. The events beyond the flotilla don't much matter to the average citizen. Our greatest dream is that one day, we'll return to our homeworld and drive out the Geth. But even if we stop Saren, that's not going to happen. There's still millions of Geth behind the veil. Until they're gone, our exile will continue.
What would you need to bring back to make everyone happy?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into now are under Saren's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way of our mission, Shepard. First, we stop Saren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
What was your father like?
It wasn't easy growing up as the daughter of one of the Admiralty. Even before he joined the board, he was a prominent figure. People looked to him for leadership. He had to set an example, and he expected the same of his daughter. Plus, he was pretty strict, a military man through and through. He never allowed me to settle for anything less than excellence. As a kid, I sometimes felt like he was pushing me too hard. But now, I'm old enough to appreciate what he taught me. The world doesn't owe us anything. If we want something in life, we have to earn it.
Where was your mother in all this?
Mother was around, but she always seemed to kind of blend into the background. Almost like she was overshadowed by my father. He tends to do that to people. She passed on about 5 years ago. Some airborne virus that swept through the fleet. Happens sometimes when the filters start to break down. I think my father took it pretty hard. After she was gone, he became even more focused on his work. I think that was his way of dealing with the grief.
Sounds like a tough upbringing. You don't resent your father at all?
Like I said, it wasn't easy. My father's not the kind of person you bond with, and he wasn't around all that much. Too busy. People counted on him, and he took his duties seriously. Even when he was around, he always seemed a bit distant, like his mind was always somewhere else. Come to think of it, I can't ever remember seeing him smile. Not once. It's like he was always weighed down by all that responsibility. I mean, I know he cares about me, but he never really showed it, not in the usual way. I guess the best thing I can say about my father is that I respect him.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I should go.
See you later.
I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
Maybe we could pick up where we left off. You were telling me about your interest in the Protheans.
Actually, I think I was talking about my interest in you, and making a fool of myself in the process. As I said, I am not used to dealing with people, especially humans. I did not really know much about your species when we first met, Shepard. I found it hard to take humanity seriously. Your kind always seemed so rushed and high-strung.
Has your opinion changed at all?
It has. I have been watching you and your crew. It has taught me a lot about your species. You humans are creatures of action. You pursue your goals with an almost indomitable determination. It is an admirable trait, but also an intimidating one.
You're scared of us?
Unfortunately, the rest of the galaxy sees humanity as something of a bully. You run over anyone in your path to get what you want. It is up to people like you to change their minds, Shepard.
Why me?
There is a reason the Council chose you to become a Spectre. They saw something special in you. The best of what humanity has to offer. I looked into your history. I know what you did during the Blitz. It was a remarkable display of courage and heroism.
You didn't need to go behind my back. I would have told you whatever you wanted to know.
I apologize, Commander. After our last conversation, I was afraid I would say something stupid again. I wanted to know more about you, to understand what made you into the woman you are. There is something compelling about you, Shepard.
Are you sure you're interested in me, or is it my visions of the Protheans?
I admit, your connection to the Protheans had something to do with my initial interest, but it has grown beyond that. You intrigue me, Shepard, but I was not sure if it was appropriate to act on my feelings. I thought there might already be a relationship between you and Lieutenant Alenko.
The Lieutenant and I are just friends. Nothing more.
My mistake, then. I am not as adept at understanding human relationships as I thought. But what about us, Shepard? Is there a mutual attraction, or was I wrong about that too?
No, you were right. There is something between us.
I knew it, and I knew you felt it too. But does this not seem rather strange? Why do I feel so close to you? We have only known each other a short time. We are from two different species. We have almost nothing in common. This makes no sense.
These things never make sense. They just happen and we get swept up in the storm.
You make it sound so chaotic, so dangerous.
Don't tell me a little danger puts you off.
This is all a bit overwhelming. I am not used to this. I need some time.
Take all the time you need, Liara. I'll be here.
Thank you, Shepard. Let's just talk about something else for now.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Do you have some time to talk now, Commander?
Let's hear it, Lieutenant. I'm always open to my officers.
We've played it pretty close to the book so far, but we're a long way from backup. We've got some tough calls to make. I'm just saying, try to leave yourself a way out. I've seen what cutting corners can do, and I'd hate to have that happen to you, Shepard. Commander.
I'm your commanding officer, Alenko. Are you questioning the way I handle things?
No, Commander, just concerned about the reception of the brass if things go sour. I apologize for bringing it up. I know we're getting the job done.
Nothing more out of you, Alenko. Dismissed.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Yeah, a few things with Caden, man. First of all, his needy little inner meddling there with things that aren't his affair, and his assumptions as far as things being something that they're not. I don't care what you dream about at night, I don't want to hear about it. And then somebody starting rumors that he's already got a thing, that somebody may have a thing for him and stuff that got referred to by Ashley. Now we see where that was, where that came from. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not a chick, so I don't know exactly how a chick would take that. But all I know is it just comes across as extremely annoying, very trespassing. Yeah, overstepping bounds, and yeah, I don't know. If he's soft and needy, well, whatever. As long as he does his job, that's cool. But yeah, just keep that out of my vicinity. I just, looking at my Shepard and how my Shepard is, I don't think my Shepard respects that. All right, let's look at this CSEC merchant guy.
One sec, looking you up. Hello, Commander.
Show me what you got.
Sounds good. Just let me set you up. Oh, this must be a mistake. System's telling me to offer you our select stock. Spectre? Well, I'd heard about that, but I didn't realize it was you. Sorry, Commander.
Just show me what you got.
I'll open the rare stocks for you, Commander. Enjoy.
Well, if you got anything decent. All right, so there's all the Spectre stuff. And I've got enough to get a pistol for Liara, at least. I'll probably do that. But for right now, I need something we can wear. Mercenary armor is good stuff. It's pretty good stats for light armor. Lower level light armor. Mercenary, Mantis. I think Titan. Once again, I'm not sure about Titan. I don't remember if Titan is human armor or not. Colossus is the popular one. Colossus just looks really good. Pitch black, blood red. It's awesome looking armor. A few of them look cool though. I think Mantis armor is normally kind of a camo type, and it's all the armor actually looks good in my opinion. Mass Effect. It's all kind of form-fitting, tight, hugging. Just it's cool looking armor. It really is. This is one thing I kind of wish they'd have kept in Mass Effect 2 and 3. I won't complain about the armor and the upgrades and stuff in the other Mass Effects, but I like the varied armors that you find here. Okay, here's Conrad.
I'm waiting for you to get back. I've got an idea, and I wanted to run it by you.
What's on your mind?
With so many human colonies being attacked, I'm not sure that one Spectre is enough. What if you signed me on as another Spectre?
Why would you want to be a Spectre, Conrad?
Because I wanted to show the Council what humanity can do, just like you. I'd make a great Spectre. I want to be with you, fighting the good fight like you did on Elysium during the Skillian Blitz.
This is what the Blitz felt like, Conrad. You like it?
What? No, please. Please don't hurt me. Why are you doing this?
Because you're not a soldier, Conrad. You can't handle this. Go home.
I thought you were a hero. Heroes don't do things like this. I wish I'd never met you.
Wow, inspectors don't do things like that. That's so pitiful. Alright, so I got to yell at Conrad.
Hello, Spectre. I have a business proposition for you.
I've got plenty to do already.
Of course you do. But this would be easy work for you, and I pay extremely well. I'm acquainted with a pair of powerful crime bosses. They're hiding on remote worlds, and I have the coordinates. You could do the galaxy a favor.
And what do you get out of this?
We share interests in certain cooperative ventures. But their business practices have forced me to terminate our relationship. Once they are dead, I will manage our organization in a more tasteful manner.
What crimes did these men commit?
They're red sand dealers who make victims of their customers. Those who can no longer pay are sold to Batarians as slaves. They're loathsome, hurting innocent people. They must be ended.
What kind of defenses would these two have?
I haven't the faintest idea, but they're certain to be armed. Their partnership's soured, and each believes that the other intends to kill him. They will be well prepared.
I eliminate them, and then you take over and try to eliminate me. How stupid do I look?
While I appreciate your estimation of my bravado, I have no intention of attempting to murder you. You are the first human Spectre, and you are doing important work for humanity. I have no interest in red sand or slavery. Anyone who does deserves to die. Our needs are aligned.
If they're as bad as you say they are, they need to be dealt with.
Excellent. Here are the coordinates. When these men are dead, I will wait for you at the third set of coordinates. Goodbye, Commander. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Wow, this lady's cold as ice. Comes across as grandma apple cinnamon dumplings, and then as soon as you cross her with that same little smile and sweet voice, she has you killed, probably flayed alive first. Yeah, not to be trusted. I could trust her, but her two partners in crime are fixing to get both crossed out by her, and yeah, okay.
Decontamination in progress.
Sorry, I won't trust her as far as I can probably throw her pretty far, especially with biotics, so I won't even trust her that much. Seriously.
Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
But you know what? Since she brought it up, we might as well go take care of that. I'd actually forgotten about her. Just happened to run across her while I was running around the Citadel there. Didn't bother you guys with all of that, but yeah, I think we'll go take care of her. The Han and Din systems. Okay, now we gotta go find those. And there it is, the fan. Okay, so we're done with that. I don't think we'll be seeing Conrad Werner again. I think we scared him off. He needs to go home to his wife. He must be the next human Spectre. Oh man, that is awesome. Alright, so the Han and Din systems. If I remember, they're in two completely different star systems, so it doesn't really matter which one we do first.
Message coming in from the brass at Arcturus. Patching it through.
Normandy?
Admiral Hackett here. We're getting reports of a marked increase in Geth activity in the Saleon Verge. Surveillance drones have identified Geth outposts on 4 different planets in the Armstrong cluster. We need someone to take them out.
We have any idea what they're after?
Hard to say. They may be just gathering intel on us. Or maybe they're setting up staging grounds for hit-and-run attacks on human colonies.
It could be the first wave of an invasion.
Let's hope not. We need someone to investigate this, Shepard. Finding Saren is still your top priority, but you've got experience fighting the Geth. You're the logical choice to take out these outposts. We're transmitting all the locations of known Geth outposts in the Armstrong cluster to the Normandy now. Admiral Hackett out.
Okay, if Admiral Hackett knows where we are at all times, if we're monitored, being kept track of that closely, then that means Cerberus knows where we're at all times and keep track of what we're doing, how we're doing it, who we're doing it to. That's noteworthy. Alright, well, you gotta be around here somewhere. Some of these are looking like they've unlocked new little star systems too. I'm afraid if I don't go back, what I'll probably do towards the end is go through every star system, go check every single little individual one, and notice Hackett will usually let you know if there's something going on in that particular star system. He'll ask you for a favor. So I'll see if I can trigger any of those, you know, right at the end when we're pretty much done. But I want to make sure I try to do as much of this side stuff as possible. Save what you can save, clean up all the bad guys where you can, you know, all that good stuff. Alright, well, we are on our way. Let's go deal with Helene Blake on the next one. Thanks for watching, and if you want to subscribe, click that button up top. And if you want to catch the rest of this Let's Play up to this point, click that image there in the middle. It should send you straight to the playlist. Alright, y'all take care. Bye-bye.